besties, my name is Maddie and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going over the 9 books that I read in August. I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty slumpy month for me. I only had a few that I really liked. I did find 2 that I think will be like God tier for me, like best books of 2024, but some of these other ones just weren't hitting the way I wanted them to hit. So I read 5 of these books physically. I listened to 2 of them, and then 2 I read on Kindle Unlimited. But some that I read physically I believe are on Kindle Unlimited, and also check out your library. It is a great resource and I get a lot of my books from there. So let's talk about the 2 that I read on my Kindle. So I read Alive and Wells by Bailey Hannah. I rated this book 3 stars. I really wanted it to be more. It really hit me in like my slump, I guess I could say, and I just put this book down for like a few days and I just didn't care to go back to it, but I eventually did and it was fine. So our 2 main characters in this are Cicely and Austin. She is living a very rough relationship at the beginning of this book and she just needs a place to basically escape to for a little bit. So she ends up at this little farm ranch place where she is now going to be living, trying to get back on her feet because her ex-husband ruled her life, basically. Here we meet Austin. He's just like the good old cowboy, and I really wanted to like their story, and I think I did. For the most part, I just think it was right book, wrong time for me because I wasn't feeling like reading, and that's why I feel like I rated this book lower. Like once I got to like the middle of it, I was kind of over it, and I was like, I don't really care what happens, which sucks because I love a cowboy book. I love a small town romance. So this honestly could have just been a me problem, and I definitely will be picking up the second book. I believe the next one is Seeing Red, and I believe there's a child in it somehow, some way, not quite sure, but I feel like that book will hit for me. Then I read Dark Deception by Rena Kent. So this is the first in her Deceptions trilogy. I didn't rate this book because it's just a novella. It was legit only maybe 30 pages, and it was just kind of an intro on how she becomes his wife. And that's all I'm going to say on that because I don't want to spoil anything. And it was a fun, it's a cute little read. I'm really looking forward to this trilogy. Everyone says it's really good, so I'm crossing my fingers that I'm going to love this one. And then the 2 books that I listened to, so I listened to Every Last Secret by A.R. Torrey. I rated this book 3 stars, and I was not a fan of it. So I guess this is kind of like a mystery thriller, maybe. I really don't know what to classify it as. So you follow 2 women, Kat and Nina, I believe her name is. And Kat seems to have like the perfect life, the perfect husband. Everything just seems to be going really great for her in this very ritzy, rich community that they live in. And in comes Nina, who is now going to be working with Kat's husband. And she kind of has like an infatuation, I guess you could say, with him, and is now trying to take Kat's spot. And it's basically a story about 2 catty women going after each other the entire time. And I really don't know what the whole premise of the book was. Like, I don't know what the reasoning was besides, I guess, that Nina just wanted to be Kat, wanted to be in the position of power. I'm really not sure. I just know it wasn't for me. It was my book club book, and we all kind of agreed on the same thing. Like, there really wasn't a plot to it, but it was fine. I mean, I think the audiobook is what did it for me because the narrator was so good and it made me not want to listen because like she portrayed these women so well, like the cattiness, like just how not yucky, but like just how annoying that these 2 women were that I couldn't stand to listen any longer. But I think the narrator hit the nail on the head with this one. I just feel like the story wasn't really for me. I listened to Hello Stranger by Catherine Centers. I rated this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed this one. I really like the premise of this one, I guess I could say. This follows Sadie, I believe is her name, and she is walking home one day, or walking to work, something like that, and she has a seizure and wakes up, and now she has face blindness, which I thought was really interesting. So she can see people, she sees what they look like, but she cannot put the face together. Like, the eyes don't match, the nose doesn't match, like, it's just, she doesn't know who these people are when she talks to them. So she's going off basically like what they typically wear, how they typically style their hair. Sometimes she's just going off just what they sound like, and I thought that was really interesting. So it's her now navigating this life, and in the midst of it all, she is falling for 2 separate people. So she's falling for her dog's veterinarian, which she's never really had a conversation with, just knows she liked him previously, and like she's like, this is my future husband. And then someone that she meets in her apartment complex who she could not stand the first time she met him. So she's now navigating that and really trying to figure out life a little bit. And I had so much fun with this one. I thought the narrator was really good in this one. I thought the story was really interesting. I really liked Sadie. I liked her personality, and I liked learning kind of like how she was navigating life, because it was traumatic for her to like just be going about her day and not recognize all these people. Like the ending of the book, it gave like little details on like how she kind of figured out like how to write about this, and I thought it was so interesting. And I went and I looked it up, and it's crazy that like some people live with this little thing that they don't know that they have. They just think everyone sees people like that. And I was like, oh my god, do I have not had this too? Because I was, you know, hypochondria a little bit, that I'm like, I have a disease all the time. I thought it was really interesting, and I really enjoyed the story. And this is kind of where my month picked up a little bit, because I read 2 good books at the beginning of the month, tanked, and then I listened to this one, and I felt like it kind of pulled me out of my slump a little bit. So I read Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. So I rated this book 4 stars. I had a good time with it. I just thought it was a little slow. So this follows our 2 main characters, Grace and Matt, and this is told in like present and past timelines, which I thought was really interesting. And they basically meet in college, and they kind of have like a little relationship type thing. They're like really good friends, and then life ends up taking them in 2 different directions, and they never talk again. So then they basically don't talk for 15 years, and then he sees her on the subway, and just how the timing worked, they didn't get to talk. So he writes in like a little forum of like misconnections or something like that, and it's basically like, hey, I still like you. I want to talk to you. What have you been doing? And it's told now in like present timeline, and then you go to the past where they were in college and stuff like that. And I really liked it. I did not like the little plot twist, I guess you could say, at the end of this. That's the only thing that made it not a 5-star read for me, because this book was hitting so hard, but just a little part at the end, it just kind of threw it off for me. So that's why it was only a 4-star book for me. It would not be a reading wrap up without talking about a single dad romance. So then I read Coach by Daphne Perry. I rated this book 4 stars. I thought it was really cute, a really simple, easy, fun read. So this is kind of second chance. It's best friends to lovers, single dad. I mean, so cute. So this follows our 2 main characters, Millie and Ford. And Millie and Ford were best friends when they were in college. They did everything together. They never crossed those lines though until one little smooch happened, and then he never ends up talking to her again. Lo and behold, it's because he ended up getting his girlfriend at the time pregnant, and he now has a little girl. So fast forward a few years, he's in the NFL doing his thing, and he is now retired, or like an injury happened so he can't play again, and he goes back to his college, I believe, and that is where Millie is still working. So they are now like co-workers, I guess you could say, and it's a good time. I really like this book. I thought these 2 characters were fun. I like the second chance aspect of this. Obviously, I love the single dad aspect. It was real easy to get into. I believe this is my second Daphne Perry book, and I liked it. I really am excited to read Rally. I don't know if that's the second one or the third one in this little series, but I am really excited for that one, because I believe that one is also single dad, single parent, something with a child. So cannot wait to read that one next. Then I read The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. Listen, I had no idea that these were 2 women until I think this is the first like physical book I've ever read, but there are pictures in the back, and there's 2 of them. Wild, didn't know that. So my bad. I rated this book 4 stars. I thought it was so much fun. I think this is up there with my Christina Lauren books. Some of them I don't like, okay? They're not always my cup of tea, but this one just looked so cute, so I had to try it. So this follows Anna and Liam, and when they were in college, they get married. One because he needs a trust or something like that. He needs to be married in order to inherit his trust fund, and she needed some housing, so she's like, why not? So then they haven't talked for a bit, fast forward a few years, and he now needs to bring Anna, his fake wife, to his sister's wedding when they have not talked or not hung out, not done anything. And she's like, okay. She's like a struggling artist, and he is a very, very rich man. A very rich family she's walking into. And Anna is one of the funniest FMCs I think I've ever read about. She had me cackling. Her out-of-pocket lines were wild. Like, just the things she was saying to these high influential men, she was like, don't think so. And I love that for her. And I love them. I loved how much Liam really felt for her. I mean, oh, so cute. A fun little read. It's super easy. Perfect for like a little summer read. So read it right now before like it gets too fall-y. But it's still so cute, and I had such a good time with it. Then my 2 top tier books of the year. I guarantee it. that these are going to be my favorite books of the year. So I have This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. I love this story. I love anything this woman writes. She is one of my top tier authors. So I rated this book 5 stars, obviously. So this follows Soledad and Judah, and they are both sort of newly single parents. So Judah has 2 twin boys. I believe they're twins. And they are both on the spectrum. And him and his ex-wife are the perfect co-parents I've ever read about and probably ever will even meet or think about. I mean, they are fabulous parents, and I love that so much for these 2 boys. And I thought it was really interesting to see kind of how their dynamic was as older children on the spectrum, instead of usually when you hear about, you hear about the little kids, at least for me. And I believe also Kennedy's son is autistic as well, so I really like that she threw in that little piece of her into this book, and I think it was done with such care, and it really warmed my heart. And then Soledad is a newly single mom to her girls. So Soledad's ex-husband was doing some sketchy things, okay, and he is now in jail. And Judah is the reason that her ex-husband is in jail. So she's like, I gotta stay away from this guy. And she's navigating this new single momhood, and she's just trying the best that she can be. It's more of like a parent relationship, I guess you could say, than their relationship. And I feel like Kennedy does that in every single one of her books. Like it truly focuses on our main characters' like lives than them like a relationship. And I really enjoy that in Kennedy's stories. They feel like real people, and I think that's what I really enjoy about her writing. I mean, it's super easy to read. I mean, I think this will be a top contender for one of my favorite books of 2024. And then one of my favorite books, oh my lord, I love them. I love them. So then I read Play Along by Liz Tomford, 5 stars. 5 delicious stars. Kai and Isaiah Rhodes are my top 2. Nope, I take that back. Ryan Shea, also add him in there. And then I feel so bad for Xander, because like truthfully I'd take all 4. And then the 5th one, don't even get me started on that one. Okay, anyways, I love these characters so much, and I'm gonna be so sad when the Windy City series is done. Like I don't even want to think about it. When I'm gonna think about it, this is gonna make me sad. Anyways, so this follows Isaiah and Kennedy. So Kennedy is like the team's like athletic trainer. She does something for the team, the baseball team. And Isaiah is on the baseball team, obviously. He is obsessed with her. He loves her so much, even before even like being in a relationship with her. Like he obsessed. Obsessed by Mariah Carey. That's them. That is them. And she ends up breaking off her engagement, and she's out in Vegas one night, runs into the team and is like, I want to stick it to my ex-fiance. I want to get married first. And Isaiah's like, I'm right here. I'm available. A few drinks in, they're now married. And it's them going to have to like fake be married to not ruin her reputation at the team and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, it is so good. It is so good. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love her. I love them together. I love this entire series. I love the little sprinkles that we got of Kai and Miller and Stevie and Xander and Ryan and Indy. Oh my god, I couldn't get over it. I truthfully feel like I'm hanging out with my best friends, and I love it so much. I mean, I highlighted, I tabbed, I mean, there were so many one-liners in here. Oh, and then the end, the epilogue, what she gives him as a gift. I'm on the ground sobbing, crying. But it was so good. God tier book will possibly be my favorite read of the year. Top 5. I would say top 3. I don't know how many other books could beat this book out, because it is phenomenal. I will take 0 complaints on this entire series. I don't care if you don't like Mile High. What's wrong with it? Nothing. That was a little dramatic, but I'm being dead serious right now. Love this entire series. Just get through the first one and then try it, because I don't know what else to say. But it's so good. I had such a good time with it. One of my favorite books of the year. So those are the 9 books that I read in August. I had a slower reading month, but I mean, I found 2 really great books. I don't know if they gave me like a little bit of a book hangover, put me in a little bit of a book slump. Still not quite sure what the difference is about those 2, if I'm being honest. I don't know what the difference is. Whatever. Doesn't matter. But let me know what you read in August. Let me know what your favorite reads of the month were. I would love to know. I'm always looking for new book recommendations. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Love yous.